the Life Staff. You want to play a healer, this is really the only way you're going to do it, but it's not a bad way, and there's a lot of really fun abilities that kind of, at least as of open beta and the last 2 betas, make you nigh unkillable. So we're going to go through those right now. Welcome back, everybody. My name's K-Dog. Tonight, we're going through a couple different builds, starting off with the one that is near and dear to me, and that is the Life Staff. I have used the Life Staff in every iteration in all of the different betas and testing that I've done for New World, going all the way back to when it was pretty much required to run it because it had that light speed dash on it. For those of you guys that were playing it way back in the day, you remember that thing was, oh, great. I miss it. But anyways, the Life Staff is also the only way that you're really going to be able to play a healer if that is your desired role. And healing is very strong in this game. It started out back when I was playing it last year, not really as effective. They have definitely made a lot of changes that have brought the Life Staff and the healing in this game really almost to the point of overpowered, realistically. And I'm saying that as somebody who uses the Life Staff like it's close to being broken. It's no great axe, but you know, it's still up there. So today we're, like I said, tonight we're running through, as of open beta, what I will be running at launch. So I did make some changes from closed beta. For those of you guys that were running my build from closed beta, I did make some changes from that, and I'll explain why. And for those of you guys on YouTube that really are just here for the finished build of what all I'm taking, there, I'll put it up on the screen right now. It'll be there. It'll be all popping up in fun. So it'll be there for you. Just imagine if you're watching live. So we're going to run through literally level by level what I'm taking. I will say ahead of time, I have switched from the protector side of the tree back to the healing side of the tree, and I will explain why. We're still going to use protector abilities, but we are going to be focusing the healing side of the tree a little bit more with the way that a couple of the changes have been made, and just statistically over time, how much healing you can really put out. So we're going to start literally level and go 1 through 5 here. So first one, no matter what, you need to take Absolved, and this counts. This is the same technique as if you're running Fire Staff. There's the perk that means that you do not take mana when you are using your basic attacks. As you know, when you first pick up the Life Staff on the beach, you're like, oh my god, this is terrible. Like, how do people run this? This is your must-take first item, so that way you are actually able to play New World. So you're going to take Absolved first here on the left-hand side of the skill tree. Next, after Absolved, we're going to hop over to Protector. We're going to get Orb of Protection. The reason why we're going to take this as our first ability, because this is also a damage ability. So it allows you in that early game to start dishing out damage against enemies in your PvE. Because the early beginning of the game, you're mainly going to be kind of doing a PvE focus. Those first 6, 7 weapon levels, most likely. You're not going to be running groups for other people, with other people. You're not doing dungeons. You're not running a PvP until you're at least level 12, and then you are at least probably level 5 in the Life Staff. So we're going to take some things that help you out earlier on in those first couple levels, dish out damage. Orb of Protection is a great ability. They did nerf it down a little bit with the open beta patch notes, but as of open beta, it's still really good. Gives you, if it hits an ally, it gives them 10% Fortify for 20 seconds, which Fortify is a great ability, reduces incoming damage. And then also this Orb of Protection will straight up heal your allies, but mainly you're using it at the beginning for that deals 146% weapon damage when it hits an enemy. So it's great. Cooldown of 10 seconds, only costs 16 mana. It's a great first ability. Or third level, we're gonna jump over here and take Beacon. Same reasoning for it. The protector side of the tree, these two are actually damage dealers. So this will allow you in those early levels just kind of keep dishing out damage. Another one, 146% weapon damage to enemies, and then it attaches to the enemy as well. So if you hit an enemy with this and they are running at you, it emits, it's kind of like an AoE heal. So it sticks to them, and then as long as you're in that happy circle, as I call it, you are getting healed for 20% weapon damage each second for 10 seconds. So you're already going to be very hard to kill from PvE mobs and all that, as long as you're using Beacon right away. So there's level 3. We're going to hop on over next, take our first ability. This is our last ability that we're going to be taking, and this is Sacred Ground. So create an area on the ground that lasts for 15 seconds, heals 20% damage every second. Same kind of concept as Beacon, but they function a little bit differently. Sacred Ground actually has a much smaller range of the area of effect that it has compared to Beacon, especially once we level up Beacon to have a wider area effect. But this is a targetable one, whereas this is a projectile. Beacon, you have to shoot out a projectile just like Orb of Protection, so you have to land your shots a little bit for it to actually work. Beacon or Sacred Ground, on the other hand, you could self-target, you could target an ally, and it drops right on them. That being said, moving forward, we're going to get up to level 5 here. And these are your first 5 levels. Revitalize. When you hit with a light attack, reduce all your cooldowns by 5%. Bread and butter. Go right here with the life staffs, light and heavy attacks. You are just using your protector, those couple abilities, and you are just spamming your light attacks to hit the enemies and just keep recasting and healing. And you just get more and more cooldown. And it is amazing. I will take a pause here. Some of you will remember and are already kind of questioning why we're not going Light's Embrace. When I was doing closed beta and doing a lot more of the focus like PvE content and really hard focusing a tank, I was advocating for Light's Embrace because paired with Orb of Protection, a couple other things, the stacking of healing is insane. I will explain a little bit why. Once we get further down the tree as a whole, I think that this new build is going to provide more beneficial. Unfortunately, it is a slight over time heal, so you won't get that huge burst like we did when we had Light's Embrace. But I think if your tank can live at least for, 1 or 2 seconds, and they're standing in the happy circles, they should be good. And you'll see all the extra bonuses that we get once they get low. So we're at level 5. We got Revitalize, hitting with the light attacks on cooldown, just spamming those bad boys out. We are going to stay over here on the healing side of the tree for the next pretty much all of our levels. Reason for that is we want to get this Divine Blessing as soon as possible. This is kind of like considered the ultimate of this side of the tree. Divine Blessing, when you heal an ally, if their health is below 50%, heal for 30% more. This is where it starts to come in. Like I said, there's a lot of perks that build on each other. So if your tank or anybody else in your party is below 50%, all your healing that is dishing out, whether it's Sacred Ground, that gives 20% weapon damage healing every second. They run into that happy circle. They're now getting 50% weapon damage every second. This is a huge, huge ult that helps out with the healing of it. But we got to get there first. You have to have 10 points into each side to access that ultimate. So after Revitalize, we're going to hop down here, get Arcane Justice. When hit in battle, activate a healing aura for you and nearby friends in a 4-meter radius, healing for 10% weapon damage each second for 6 seconds. This has a very long 2-minute cooldown, but this is a great passive for you for survivability that allows you in those early levels, or even as you start getting up into like PvP and things like that. This will help you because whenever you are hit once every 2 minutes, you automatically get a heal. You don't have to cast it. It's great. Like, just somebody swings on you, you don't even have to worry about healing. It's going for you once every 2 minutes. So it gives you 6 seconds of self-sustain heal. After Arcane Justice, level 7 weapon level, we're gonna hop down to Sacred Protection. While holding a life staff, increase the base health of all friendlies in your group by 5%. This has changed a little bit from what it was in closed beta. I believe max health was the increase, so it was a different 5% increase. And I'm pretty sure this is accurate because all the other things are updated. I'm blanking on what it was in open beta. But I'm pretty sure with the patch notes, the changes in open beta, it was a slight change. But it should still be this Sacred Protection. And either way, if it does change a little bit again, this is might be the only one that might vary that we take, but we're probably still going to take it. And here's why: because this node right here, we need to have at least this bottom tier to get Divine Blessing. And personally, Intensify, while it sounds great, heavy attacks give you increased healing by 10% for 10 seconds, max 3 stacks. It does stack. You get the heavy attacks going. They do a little bit more damage, but like I said, your bread and butter when you are a healer is going to be your light attacks, because not only do they decrease cooldown, they also are going to have the potential, just your basic attacks, to heal allies. So you are going to be spamming light attacks, not heavy attacks. So you won't really get full effect of this in the rest of your build. So that's why we're not going to be taking this that one. We're pretty much going to take this no matter what it changes to. Knock on wood. After that one, we're just going to kind of hop back around. We are jumping up here to Blissful Touch, because this is the time that we're going to be maybe running, you know, we're level 8 with our weapon. We're starting to run with groups. We're starting to maybe do expeditions, things like that. Light attacks now heal target for 20% weapon damage when passing through an ally. So you're staying on the back lines. Your tanks and your DPSs are in front of you. You're just spamming light attacks. Now you're healing them with your basics, like I said, as they're going through for 20% weapon damage. It's great. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Hopping over here, level 9, Desperate Speed. This is another one. When you heal an ally with less than 50% health, life staff cooldowns are reduced by 10%, once per 5 seconds. I mean, I don't think I really have to explain that. It goes hand in hand with Divine Blessing. We're healing people less than 50% health. It allows you just to turn right back around. You're taking 1 second off Orb Protection. I think, yeah, almost 4 seconds off of Beacon, and then 2 seconds off of Sacred Ground. Like, all of this helps on top of the 5% cooldown that you're getting by light attacks. This just allows you to keep spamming those abilities and keep yourself and your party alive. Like I said, nigh unkillable. Keep that in mind. There's a reason people in PvP hate life staff users, because we strong, ape strong together. Moving on. After Desperate Speed, like I said, we're just going to kind of keep taking these. We're going to avoid, in my opinion, Mending Touch until kind of the end at level 12 before we do that. Life Staff Heavy Attack now removes 1 debuff when passing through an ally. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second, but I'll explain why I'm deciding to wait on that. We're just going to level up Sacred Ground here and get it to its maximum. So we're going to level up its perks a little bit. Regenerate stamina and mana 100% faster while in Sacred Ground. That helps out your tanks. They can block more, dodge more for your DPSs. That helps out yourself. If you're in the Sacred Ground area, you now get mana back faster. It's great all the way around. Blessed. While allies are in Sacred Ground, they're healed for 50% more from all healing. By now, you have to be realizing why we've kind of changed this all up a little bit and gone more for Sacred Ground. The heals are exponentially going to be building on each other so much. Now that you're standing in there, you're getting 50% from more healing, and you're getting more healing from if they're under 50% health. It just keeps going. So we're going to do Blessed, and then last one, before we can unlock Divine Blessing, we're going to get Mending Touch. Like I said, this is a great ability. It removes 1 debuff. It used to remove all debuffs, I believe, if I recall correctly. It was amazing. Now it's just 1, but even still, I don't think that this is as much of a priority, because this is more when you're in a group setting and you're doing like PvE or things like that, and you are trying to remove those debuffs that bosses are giving and things like that. And those don't really start really becoming impactful until you're to this point that you're like level 12 with your weapon, until you're really getting up there in the life staff build. Moving right along. Again, now we finally have unlocked the Divine Blessing. Self-explanatory. I talked about it. We're taking that. Now our healing is so much stronger. As soon as our tanks get low, boom, they are back in the fight immediately. All right. Now we have taken everything we want from this side. We have 6 points left. This is when we get to hop back over the Protector side. I really still like this side. I think it's a great side. Problem is, like I said, we want to get Divine Blessing on as soon as possible. All right. So we're hopping back over to the Protector side. We are on weapon level 14. First thing, hop over here. Gonna get Protector's Blessing. If Aura Projection hit an ally, they gain recovery. Recovery heals 7.5% weapon damage every second. More heals. So now you're giving them Fortify, because this isn't really a heal so much. It gives them 10%, but mainly you're giving them the Fortify and you're dealing damage. So you're targeting like the enemies and your tanks are standing right next to them. But now you actually can use it as a heal as well. 7.5% weapon damage every second. There we go. So that's 14. 15, we're going to hop over to Beacon. Beacon's area effect is now 50% larger. Now the happy circles are larger. It's huge after you take this. 15, level 16. Beacon lasts 5 seconds longer. Radiance's Blessing. This is a huge buff because this lasts as is for 10 seconds. Cooldown's 35 seconds. So we now are going for 15 seconds on the Beacon. So we're only in cooldown for 20 seconds here. But we're also getting all of our cooldown reduction from Revitalize, from this Desperate Speed, and we have the other Sacred Ground things as well. And you could have cooldown perks on your weapons. So this is going to help you kind of throw out Beacon almost back to back. Because that 20 seconds that 20 seconds is going to just go down really, really fast. All right. Weapon skill level 17. Spirits United. Increases mana regeneration for you and your group members by 3%. There's a couple other good ones here that I like. Protector's Touch, Protector's Strength. All of these passed in or worked into your build together. The buffs you grant last 20% longer. All of these are really good, except for the when you block a melee attack, I think. Even Bend Light. It depends on your playstyle. But the reason I'm taking Spirits United as the one standalone perk on this side of the tree is because with all the cooldowns and with the healing you're going to be doing, because you have so much cooldowns, this mana regeneration is going to help you out more than you realize. And also, it's going to help out, if you have another Fire Mage, Fire Staff user in your squad. This will help them out as well. And then by the point that you're level 100, you have 120 health or 120 mana, and you are getting an extra 3% regen plus whatever you may have from abilities and things like, or from gear and things like that. This will help you out, I think, more. We're already getting a lot of buffs of heals thanks to Divine Blessing, so it kind of counters a lot of these other ones, and I think we have enough of that. I think being able to cast more without having to worry about running out of mana is going to be hugely beneficial. So we got that 17, and then we're just going to finish off Orb of Protection here. Shared Protection. If you successfully heal an ally with Orb of Protection, you also gain Fortify and Recovery. Huzzah! Oh, when you deselect the thing, it takes off everything below it. Get Fortify and Recovery. It's great. So you're also healing yourself when you heal others. What can go wrong? And then the great skill. I wish we could incorporate this earlier, but this on Orb of Protection as the last skill taken just makes this such an amazing ability. Aegis, when this projectile hits, it affects all allies within 3-meter radius. So now you're giving Fortify to the whole squad and yourself, because as long as it just makes giant explosions here, and it's just so good. Part of the reason why I like this during closed beta, and I don't think it got fixed, so knock on wood here, but I did notice during the closed beta, I didn't run the life staff as much during the open beta because I knew how it worked. I tested the new things, etc. But I believe by taking this perk, it also makes your Blissful Touch regular basic light attacks into kind of AoE heals as well, which it didn't, in my experience, it's not supposed to do that. I don't read anywhere that it does that, but that's definitely a thing as of closed beta, and I have not seen that patched out or whatever, but that's one of the other reasons that makes this amazing. But that's also part of the reason why it's towards the end. I'm sure that's not an intended interaction, but if it is, I mean, life staff even better, right? But yeah, it was making this Blissful Touch light attack like an AoE heal, so it's great. But yeah, that's it. That's as of the end of open beta. This is the life staff build that I'm going to be running and the order in which I'm going to be taking all of these abilities. If there are any changes, I will be making another video after launch, after that, that first 48 hours of grinding. You guys got to wait a little bit for me to make, new build content, because your boy's going to be on there just grinding away himself. But if there are any changes, definitely be on the lookout for that. But as of right now, going into launch, from the notes that we have from open beta, before any other changes, this is the way that I'm going to be building my life staff. And I don't see any way that, I mean, if a 1v1, I'm going to be nigh unkillable, and just being able to keep your teammates alive as soon as they get below 50% health, your tanks are going to be back to full immediately. So it's going to be great. Oh, also, before I forget, I also wanted to point out the life staff perks that I will be going for here. I'll have those up on the screen as well, the different ones. Obviously, with this build, the 2 perks that I would really be going for in your life staff build is going to be Fortifying Sacred Ground, which allies healed by Sacred Ground gain Fortify, increasing damage absorption by 3% for 5 seconds. Fortify is great. They're nerfing it back down because of how good it is. But just with this build, the way it is, I think that's the #1 perk that you should be going for with this build. The other one I could maybe see using is Revitalizing Beacon. Using Beacon increases healing power on self by 5% for 12 seconds. The other ones, I don't see them working with this build. I honestly, overall, I feel like the life staff perks are a little underwhelming compared to some of the other weapons. But I think Fortifying Sacred Ground is definitely the one that you should be steering for with your build. Let me know what you guys think. Go easy on me down in the comments. Like I said, I've played around with this a lot, done a lot of scribbles and maths and all that. You guys know I'm one of those kind of data, look at all the numbers kind of people. So this is what I believe, as of right now, the most effective build. Yes, it does rely a little bit on healing over time, but if you look at it, how much do you heal? And when you're stacking and you're standing in a beacon and a sacred ground at the same time, you're healing 40% weapon damage every second, plus everything else. Like, it's insane. So that's about it. Thank you again, everyone. Make sure, if you haven't, you guys are subscribing. I got more builds coming out. We're all excited for the New World launch. Hitting a like on that video, and I will see you next time. I think the next one, we're about to make it. I'm going to go over my musket build, which I know sounds insane, life staff and musket, but I explain why. I'm a war general, so I do a lot of the musket from up on the ramparts. So, but we'll be going over that next, so definitely make sure you're subscribed so you can come check out my build for that here as well. Later.